Hey, we have a story to share with you that I feel like everybody at some point in their business can relate to. This thing that happened to me, and I know that it's something that you have happened in your life and in your business as well. And thought you would enjoy this experience that I had because it was kind of embarrassing, and I think you'll like the story. So what happened was, a few months ago, I went to this conference and it was for Kajabi, which is, if you don't know what Kajabi is, it's a software where you host all of your online courses and you do funnels and email marketing and all that stuff. So I've been using their software for ages, and they give awards to people who have made a certain amount of money using their platform. So I went to the conference and I got this award for this thing, for using their platform for so long and making money using their platform. So I got the award, and during that event, a whole bunch of people were getting interviewed about their experiences using the product and the different accomplishments that they had. And so I did this interview, and somebody was asking me questions, and I was kind of like looking off camera, and I just kind of had this weird look on my face. And then several weeks later, after I got home, Jason came in the room, and he's like, "Oh, did you see? All of a sudden, what did you say? Like, you came in and you were like, oh, did you see
that ad?
Did you see that ad? Like, your face is on this Kajabi ad with like one of your quotes." And I was like, "No." And it was kind of exciting. So I went and saw this ad, and here's my face, and I'm like, "Oh, it's not a very good picture of me," because I'm just like looking randomly off camera. And it had a quote, and I was like, "Oh, the quote's kind of weird too." I say things very casually, and I just said, and things like that. And it said, I've made this much money using Kajabi for doing these things and things like that. So it was just a funny quote. And I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. Look at me there. I'm on the ad." And then a little while goes by, a few days goes by, and Jason comes in again, and he goes, "Have you seen the comments under this ad?" And I was like, "No." And I think he was a little afraid to tell me because he knows that I don't really like unjust criticism. I don't usually handle it very well. I've gotten better, but it has been known to be something that I struggle with in the past. So these comments under this post, we go looking at it, and there's like, hundreds, right, at this point, where there's some supportive ones, and there's some people saying like congratulations, and people who know me are in there being like, "Yay, Molly." But most of them were just absolutely vicious. Like, people saying nasty things about my appearance, people saying, saying that I'm a liar and that there's no way that that's possible. Just all of these, people who just didn't believe it, and didn't believe in any of the success that was mentioned in the quote, and saying things like one guy was like, "Oh, eat a Big Mac once in a while," and I was like, obviously just calling me skinny. And one person said, what was it, like, "Oh, $1 million couldn't fix that, of plastic surgery couldn't fix that face." Things like that, just really, really mean things. And a lot of them were funny because I have more of a sense of humor about stuff like that than I used to. I would have our daughter Julia gets really, really angry if somebody says something unnecessarily mean to anybody. She just gets really, really agitated, and that's kind of the way I am too. That any unfair criticism really, really bothers my sense of justice. So it was just really, really crazy. But you'll never believe how I responded. It was really, really funny how it turned out, and then something crazy happened that was just never something we would ever expect from those comments and from that experience. This is something that ended up occurring out of all of that. So I'll tell you about that in a minute. But before I tell you that, the thing that it made us think about was how criticism can affect a lot of the things that you do, or fear of criticism can affect a lot of the things that you do in your business, and the actions that you take or don't ever take because you're just afraid of what your clients will think, or if your clients will like it, or what other dog trainers will think, or what your family will think if you decide you're going to quit your full-time job and tackle dog training as a business full-time, what everybody's going to think. And just, fear of embarrassment and fear of doing things and all the things that might happen or what people might think or say, and the criticism you might get. It stops all kinds of stuff, and we all face those things. And you have to kind of figure out how to overcome that, or you'll never actually do anything. All those fears are very normal for everybody, because there's going to be criticism no matter what. You can be criticized for also just doing nothing. If people know that you have this passion and this desire and this dream, and you don't go do anything, you're going to get criticized for that too. So you might as well be criticized for doing something that you love.
Would you say that criticism's a little easier to take when you can kind of shut them up because you're very successful, compared to if you're struggling and they criticize you, you're going to take that harder?
Right. Yeah. If you are it's if you're going to get criticized for not doing well, that's way worse than getting criticized for doing well. Like, we all know successful people who still get people who say nasty things about them. Like, everybody does. You're going to get people who love you and people who don't, no matter what you do. So you might as well get the criticism while also having an amazing business, because you're going to get criticized no matter what, one way or another. So yeah, I agree with that. What else did we want to tell them? So we're going to be talking a lot about this topic in one of the steps of the $100,000 blueprint class that's coming up, because this is something that you can definitely handle with grace and handle it in like a strategic way when it does come, because you can expect it and be prepared for it mentally, and then also have a strategy for handling unfair criticism that actually helps you be more successful. So we're going to be talking about that during the blueprint class, and you'll hear all about that then. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Molly knows a lot about this topic because one time someone unfairly criticized her in an email. It was another dog trainer person, and she spent 2 or 3 days going back and forth sending these massively long emails refuting every single thing that the person said, and it used days of mental energy and caused a lot of stress. And the whole time I was just telling her, just ignore it, it's stupid.
Yeah.
But she couldn't help it. So
Yeah.
she knows a lot about overcoming this, because I've seen the opposite, where the criticism would not prevent us from doing something, but it would take away a ton of mental energy and positive focus because of responding to everybody's criticism.
Yeah, and it just, even if you don't actually do anything and it doesn't actually take you time and you don't take the time to respond, it just drains you mentally thinking about how you would have responded and how unfair it was, and how they don't know this about you and they don't know that about you, and how dare they this and that, and why don't they criticize this person for that, it's much worse. And all these thoughts that go on in your head is just also time consumption, because all that mental energy can be used on something much more productive. But it's so much easier said than done to not let it bother you. So then you have to have like an actual, like, well, then what do you do? What is the strategy for handling the unfair criticism, so that even though you're going to have the mental turmoil from it somewhat, to some degree or another, no matter what, if you know how to handle it, then you at least know what to do with your hands and your mouth to take care of this particular situation that might be strategically better for your business. So I guess I should share what I did.
Mm-hmm.
So what I decided to do, and it used to be, again, I'd get unfair criticism and it would last weeks of thinking about it and responding and all that. Now I don't do that anymore. In this particular case, because a lot of the comments were just people being hateful, I decided to just join in, because in the ad, it has my name, it has me quoted, it has the website, it has all the things, but you kind of, when you see an ad, you don't really think of them as a real person. So when they make a comment and then I, as me, with my face, go replying to their comment, they sometimes are a little surprised that I am in fact a real human. So they'd say, like the guy who said the Big Mac thing, he's like, I eat a Big Mac once in a while. I replied and was like, are you calling me skinny? Thank you. I lost 40 pounds when I had cancer last year. Like I said it like nicely with the smiley emoji and everything, and then he was like, ooh, that he felt bad for saying that. He actually sent me an apology and sent me a direct message apologizing for that. And I was like, it's all right. And other people, like $1 million of plastic surgery couldn't fix that face. I think I replied to that one and said something like, maybe the next million will. Or something like that. But again, just like seeing me as a real person replying to these comments, and them getting tagged and noticing them. There were actually people in the comments that were like, way to take the high road, like great attitude about this, joining in and making fun of yourself. And, when people would say like, no, you didn't, there's no way, or whatever. And I just put a screenshot of the amount of money that I'd made on there and be like, yeah, I did. Thank you. I was just goofy and happy and like, thank you. And just, it would be kind of like a bully in the schoolyard saying like, you're ugly and stupid, and being like, I appreciate that. Like, it just obviously just takes away all their fuel if you just don't react in any negative way. But the crazy thing that happened that was just absolutely insane and blew us away is that somebody DM'd me and said, I loved how you reacted to all of those comments and what your great attitude was and how you took the high road with everything. And what did he say? He was like, I have this new business and you're way ahead of me in your business, and I would love to get coached by you. Tell me how much you charge per hour, for an hour of coaching. I just want to pick your brain for an hour. Just give me a price. Almost like he didn't care what it was. He's just like, just charge anything. I don't care. Just tell me what it's going to be, and we'll plan it and we'll book it. And so I did. I just gave him a price and he did it. And we had a great productive conversation that helped him a ton in his new business and being able to do what he was doing in his business more. And it was fascinating how like just handling the criticism in that way showed something about my behavior or my attitude or my personality that people liked enough to also kind of in their minds represent my authority as somebody who knows how to handle business stuff and how to make good decisions in life and in business. That attitude and that mindset, even though it's difficult to take the criticism and you're kind of like annoyed that mean people like that exist, the way you handle it is seen by other people. And there are definitely strategies for like how to take the high road and actually turn it into a benefit to your business and something that's actually an advantage when somebody is not nice to you. So that was kind of what happened in the story. Did I miss anything? Nope. So yeah, we'll talk more about how to handle criticism, or just maybe even just more of the mental side of things, of the things you're afraid of happening that you might be not even really giving full credit for why you haven't done the things that you would like to do in your business, and how to overcome that stuff strategically so that you can be, kind of moderately scared, but not do anything super dangerous that's not a good decision, and how to know the difference, and how to know which thing your brain is just trying to make you run away from that's actually not dangerous. And so we'll talk about that during the 100K blueprint coming up, along with a whole bunch of other steps and strategies and things that you can actually do and improve and adjust in your business now that will make a huge difference and get you to your first or your next 100K in your dog training business a lot faster.